City of London Police. Now, we don't mention them very much, in fact hardly at all, but today we're going to make up for that as they've been forced to apologise to Ryan Colaco 2 years after they interacted with one another. We did cover this back on the 6th of July 2020 in a report.
Metropolitan Police have yet again been caught on camera showing themselves for the cretinous animals that they are. But this time, unfortunately for them, they made the mistake of picking on a black man who had just come from a TV interview about racism within the police. You couldn't make this shizzle up.
Ryan Colaco was stopped by the Metropolitan Police, who were at the time assigned to carry out patrols with the City of London Police on suspicion of carrying drugs near Cannon Street station in central London during lockdown on 29th of May 2020. During the incident, Colaco failed to exit his vehicle when ordered by the police. Bearing in mind, under some circumstances you absolutely do not have to exit your vehicle, but under others, such as being detained for a search, you must. And for the avoidance of doubt, no. If it's an illegal stop and search, then theoretically you don't have to get out of the vehicle, but you'd better make sure you're convinced the police haven't got a genuine reason to believe. Very important word in there. A genuine reason to believe there is drugs in the car. Otherwise, this will happen whether you're black or white.
I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen to me if I come out of the vehicle. I haven't got a problem coming out of the car. I just want to make sure I'm not handcuffed. Can't go anywhere.
For your own safety, I would suggest getting out and letting them search while filming, and then requesting information on the intelligence that led them to believe that they had reason to believe that there were drugs in the car. At least that way you and your vehicle stay in one piece, especially if you know for a fact that they won't find anything. Unfortunately for police, Ryan was a black man on his way home after filming an interview with a production company discussing the interactions between the Metropolitan Police and black people, which in my mind would have given him the reasoning he needed to sit tight and film the interaction rather than getting out of the car, just as it would me had I been in that position. The police's excuse for pulling Ryan over was that they could smell cannabis. Yeah, that old chestnut. The City of London Police were tasked with investigating themselves by the IOPC after Ryan made the complaint, an investigation that found that they'd investigated themselves and reached a conclusion they had done nothing wrong. But the IOPC then took the very rare step of ordering the City of London Police to re-investigate themselves. A second investigation, no doubt helped along with a few words by the IOPC and Sadiq Khan, suddenly found that the police did not have any specific intelligence relating to Mr. Colaco or his vehicle, which could have generated grounds to conduct the stop search. Also, officers were not in the lawful execution of their duty because they failed to clearly identify or explain their grounds for the search. Ryan Colaco said in an interview that he was disappointed with the IOPC for allowing the City of London Police to re-investigate themselves, as they already failed miserably once they got another chance to violate me. Of course, especially under scrutiny or even in another field, should be allowed to investigate anything regarding themselves. Clear failures have been shown by both the City and Met, but they need more scrutiny and they are still avoiding more blame for what has happened. This system of policing is institutionally racist and corrupt, as officers from ethnic minority backgrounds have even spoken about their internal experiences in police and systematic positions. We need serious change, and this is why I will always keep vocal. The review of the initial investigation is said to have found that under the Misuse of Drugs Act 1971, even though police failed to find any drugs, the search was in fact lawful, and there was nothing to suggest the police were racially discriminatory towards Ryan. Hence why I said you need to make sure that you're absolutely right that they are wrong before you sit tight without getting out your car once you're detained. And based solely on the footage that was available, I have to agree, although that's only on the footage available and not on any body-worn video footage or Ryan's unedited version of events that he filmed himself. The review did, however, determine that smashing a window clearly raised a risk of injury to Ryan, and at one point there appeared to be 12 officers at the scene, which was deemed disproportionate. Well, again, 12 coppers at the scene does not mean that that's anything to do with racism. We see white people turning up outside police stations with cameras, getting surrounded by 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 police constables. So you can't use that as an excuse for it to be racist. The concern raised by one of the plot involved with the incident was that they were concerned that Ryan had 2 mobile phones and was concerned about his behaviour in being near to licensed premises, which is apparently an MO of drug dealers in the City of London area. That statement was accepted by the review, but it stated they apologised for the way the matter was dealt with. DCI Carly Humphreys from the City of London Police said, "It is understood that the incident had a profound impact on the complainant, for which I offer an apology on behalf of the City of London Police. The complainant clearly felt that he was targeted by officers due to his protected characteristics." You see, feelings. He felt that he was targeted because he was black. Nothing to do with anything specifically racist. Sophie Khan, lawyer and legal director at Just for Public Law representing Mr. Colaco, said, "It is highly unusual for the police to be faced with a direction to reinvestigate their original findings and then to carry out a reinvestigation on the direction that there to be a set of agreed terms of reference. The agreed terms of reference allowed the reinvestigation to be focused on the specific actions of the officers involved in the stop and search and ultimately has resulted in a number of findings that the City of London Police failed Ryan on both an individual and organisational level. The City of London Police now have a window of opportunity to change the way they police black and minority ethnic Londoners. Yeah, of course, let's just not search them at all and let them do what they want." It also gives the police force or other police forces an opportunity to reflect on how they can do better and what changes they will need to make in light of the findings of the reinvestigation report. The review has recommended that officers undertake cultural sensitivity training regarding the lack of trust and confidence which particularly black people have in the police and participate in refresher training in respect of use of force. Now, it's incredible that all of these incidents involving police and persons of colour are leading to sensitivity training or diversity training in how police treat and deal with minority groups, rather than trying to fix the overarching issue of lack of complete respect for the general public. However, it is good to see that a review of the incident has led to an apology, for all that's worth, because we do need to hold police to account, but we need to hold them to account over every incident, not just the ones that involve minority groups.